Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and this is another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today I've got a TvT. It is between TSLPolt, who is the blue Terran player in the right position, and in the lower left position we do have ForGG as the red Terran player. So obviously being a TvT we can expect loads of tanks, marines, medevacs, Vikings and all that sort of shenanigans. Now anyway, where is this game from? It is from the HP Trophy 2 qualifiers, and well, I've been casting a whole load of them. I've sat down comfortably, got myself a nice drink, and I am casting like a marathon of games right now, so I am super stoked for it all. Map Antigua Shipyard, Force Cross spawns, obviously supply depots are down there. What can we expect for openings from these two? Well, obviously being Force Cross spawns, rushes aren't that effective. There's some cool stuff that can go on. I mean, there's always a possibility of some kind of proxy things down in this sort of area, but for the moment both players look to be going pretty standard so far, although Polt in this position is going to be looking as if he wants to wall off, so perhaps going for some kind of one base play that he doesn't want his opponent scouting. That's always a thing to consider. The refinery coming down very early there, a very early refinery out of ForGG as well, so definitely going to be quite tech heavy in whatever these two players are doing. Perhaps something along the lines of a Reaper opening is something that is of course plausible, and on Antigua it is a great map to do it because you've got this nice little entrance into the main base that you can really try and take advantage of, basically. So looking around, both players now starting up their racks, and judging by this rack position, definitely going to be a Reaper because of just how close it's trying to get up to his opponent's base, and neither player scouting because they obviously know where each other are, and there isn't much to really scout out too early, especially in an opening such as this from both players. Now let me just say, guys, if you like my casting, please subscribe, that'd be awesome. I get new games up daily. Leave a cool comment below about what you think of the game. I mean, who is your favourite player? Is it Polt? Is it ForGG? Maybe another Terran who is just like so much better than these two? You have to say that when your choices were one of them. But it is obviously all fine if that's what you want to do. It's pretty cool. Now, looking around, obviously not much is going to be going on for a while. Obviously, we do have a factory coming down, and a factory as well here for ForGG. So apparently my prediction that we were going to see Reapers is completely and totally wrong, and yet again I am made to look like a bit of a noob, but that is fine. These pro players are so much better at the game than I am, so they obviously know what they are doing. Factory opening, really nice as well. We've got the second gas coming down there for Polt. No second gas yet for GG yet, but we'll wait and see. Obviously a tech lab on its way down there. Meanwhile, no add-ons at all yet for Polt, so we'll wait and see what he chooses to go for. And obviously from the cough you can all hear that I am still recovering from my horrible cold, but it is going, which is good news. Now we're going to see a switch over here. The factory going to go onto that tech lab. Can't wait to see what that's going to be done for. A starport on its way down here for Polt, so really climbing up the tech tree right there. Meanwhile we've got a Hellion and Blue Flame on its way out here for GG, and well, and that is always good fun. And I don't know about you guys, but casting ForGG, whatever, if I'm saying like Blue Flame Hellions for ForGG, 4-4, it just sounds a bit weird. So I'm sorry if I ever get that confused in my head. But a command center going down there, that's all very nice. Expansion obviously going to be important. Tech lab coming down as well. So are we going to see Banshee? That looks to be very likely. Enough money for Cloak as well straight away. That factory moving over. A couple of Marines on their way out. There goes Cloak, and a Banshee should get started any second. Go Banshee. There we go. So that is all just as to be planned. A starport coming down here as well now, so I reckon that starport is much more likely going to be used for a medevac in order to drop those Blue Flame Hellions into the mineral line and be like, lol, I heard you like Hellions, so I put some Hellions in your base. Now obviously the second gas on its way down for GG, and well, everything is going pretty standard. I mean, as long as this Banshee harassment doesn't do too much damage, really ForGG is going to be an amazing spot because he's going to have an extra command center to his opponent, which will inevitably become an extra orbital command, which will basically be good times. Now, if the starport is finished, so are we going to see it click into life? We do see the Hellions killing something. I'm not quite sure what there. They have got Blue Flame now finished, so that is all good. And a Viking actually coming out, so I was wrong thinking that there was going to be drop tech. It is something that I think would have been really quite effective, especially given the dead space here. You could drop those in, the Marines wouldn't have had too much of a fun time. But here comes the Banshee. Cloak is nearly finished, about 20 seconds away. The Hellions are going across the map, but they're not going to have a fun time getting through that wall off. Another factory building a tech lab there, obviously just mass Marines on their way out. And here now is the Banshee. And there is apparently no Marines on the field at all. There is that Viking, and a scan does go down, so that Banshee should get picked off. Will it manage to get away? It would appear so. That is one lucky Banshee. A second scan being forced, though, and it will finally die. But how many workers were killed? 5. That's not too bad at all. These Hellions, though, they are not getting into Polt's base. So Polt in a nice spot now. He's 5 workers ahead, coincidentally. Well, a Raven on its way out for ForGG. And looking at this, those Hellions are just inevitably going to keep attacking there. The Marines just being like, no, you can chill. Obviously, though, ForGG does now have down his next base already, and is apparently Polt starting his. So that is a big advantage in terms of getting out that additional command center a bit earlier. More Hellions joining the mix here. We do have tanks on their way out, though, for Polt, and while there are a lot of Marines there, obviously they'll take big damage. The first tank already there. Siege mode isn't done, isn't even started, actually. And, well, a lot of these Hellions getting taken out, so this isn't looking to be a great spot at the moment. The Raven, the mobile detection, is allowing that Banshee to get picked off, but another, well, an awful lot of work is picked off there. That would be a grand total of 9. So in that Banshee, we've got more Banshees still being aggressive. Polt now getting quite a dominating lead in terms of the SCV count, but lots of Hellions streaming across the map. We do see the Raven there and the single Viking, so that is going to put an end to the Banshee play. The Banshee can't even cloak to get away from it because obviously the Raven gives the detection, so that is bad times. But of course Banshees are a little bit faster than Ravens, so can just run and run away. It shall. More Banshees in production. The second command center finished up for Polt now. Meanwhile, obviously ForGG hasn't moved down that orbital command yet. Happy single one base, got more Vikings on their way out, and now just moving down to take his natural expansion. We've got both players sitting in quite a defensive position, but Polt still really quite dominating in terms of the worker count advantage. But Mules will have helped level that out slightly, so that's not too bad. Meanwhile, these Vikings and Raven are moving around, just making sure there are no like Banshee coming in. Looks like one going to try and come in from the top, and obviously not going to have too much fun time with the 2 Vikings there. A big force moving across the centre of the map as well now for Polt. 3 tanks is nothing to shy away from. These Hellions could run into some problems as soon as I see it. Obviously the Banshee there should get a kill, and that is always a big win. If we look at the loss tab, really engaging quite cost effectively there, Polt. So in a good spot. If we look, all of the, oh no, the Raven and Vikings, no, they're pulling back. That could be problems if that Banshee comes in from behind. But as you can see here, we've got a movement forward. The tanks trying to soak up some of the Hellion fire and do manage to do some damage without too much getting picked off. The Banshee now coming in from behind, but the Raven already there. The Vikings on their way back. It's as if ForGG knows what is coming, and indeed it would appear he does. That Banshee gets taken down very easily. Now we do have a factory being built on that tech lab, but here comes the tanks moving forward, but Hellions from behind. Those roasted Marine on the turrets tonight, and well, those Hellions doing a nice little job there. Obviously though, that scouting barracks getting picked off. My concern would be, what if ForGG just goes for a big counter-attack? There's not very much in the way of defense up there. Siege mode is 3/4 done, but this is quite an aggressive tank push, and as you can see, ForGG going to move back. He's not confident in holding that expansion there, and that does put Polt in a good spot. If we look at the work count, 37 to 27, 10 workers ahead is huge, especially when you factor in the fact that he's got a second, he's actually got his natural. Now, siege mode done, the medevac will of course give vision of the high ground, and this is where problems start coming in. The Vikings can dominate the air superiority, but now the medevac's there as well. Polt in an amazing spot, so many Hellions getting taken off, and now it's just a case of leapfrogging those tanks forward oh so carefully, and there's not really much in the way of ForGG he can do to stop this. The tank's just going to be able to do so much damage, trying to bait back those Hellions and doing a great job of it. A tank now up on the high ground. This is such a difficult spot. I don't see any way ForGG can get out of it. He's bringing the Hellions in from behind, but with 3 tanks there, they will just get decimated near instantly. All of the SCVs getting pulled here. And well, the Marines getting really quite surrounded. The Vikings landing or trying to land on top, but the Hellions at the back are getting taken out very quickly. We do see scans going off to give vision of the high ground for Polt there, who's doing a good job, but for the moment ForGG has stopped the push. But at what cost? He's at, well, about 21 workers behind his opponent. He has lost far more. Oh, actually, no, wow. I thought he would have lost a lot more than that, but he hasn't. Apparently, the amount of resources lost quite equal. But the sheer fact, the Polt now starting his 3rd command center. He's been on 2 bases for ages. He's got so many more workers. Really, ForGG is going to have problems. I mean, the supply says it all. We've got wave 2 of that push coming in. Quite a few Marauders there as well to help deal with the Hellions. that is not going to make this fun reading or fun playing for ForGG right now. Obviously, just moving quite steadily across the map. We've got good production from both players. Polt doing a great job of managing his resources, keeping them very, very low indeed. Banking up a little too much gas, one could argue, but that shouldn't matter too much at the moment. He is getting ready to take his third base anyway. Now, we do see the scan going off, seeing that there are no units really there for a good defense position, a point defense drone, an auto rather sitting there. Now, a good siege up, and to be honest, this could be major, major problems. The Marauders able to do so much damage. The Vikings landing, but getting picked off so quickly, and this should be GG now, almost certainly. All of the army of ForGG is taken out. Only a handful of head-ins remaining, but so many Marauders there. There is the GG, and Polt takes the game in what was a very, very convincing win in my opinion. So guys, if you did like, please subscribe, like the video, leave a cool comment, follow me on Twitter, and for any more StarCraft, flick over to my channel. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Bye for now.